Hello world, this is Herman V.Brandt from Herman V.Brandt Photography, and today I'm going to take you guys with me on a trip to a wedding. I've been shooting a lot of weddings lately and I get a lot of questions, and I'm going to share with you some of the gear that I use and how I use this stuff. Okay? So first of all, my main two lenses are right here. I have the 70-200 2.8 L with image stabilization. This is my main lens. I usually use it for the ceremony so I can get the long shots and I can get distance. Usually I shoot with two cameras. This guy right here, kind of like a backpack strap. I put it around and I can have one camera hanging on one side and the other camera hanging on the other side. My second main lens is the 16-35 2.8. I really want to get the 24-70 2.8, but as of right now I do not have it, so this one does the job. So I usually like to shoot either on the first row or actually behind the action so I can get the faces of the couple and then the crowd looking at them. These are more of my artistic lenses. I have my 50mm fisheye, and I use this one for creative effects, but I don't use it too much. It's just for specific shots. And then finally, I have 50mm 1.4, and I use that one for video. I use that one for close-up of detail shots, whether it's the rings, the flowers. This is my main body. I have two of these actually. This is the Rebel T2 records in HD, pretty good. This is actually what we are shooting with as of right now with the second Rebel. I would like to upgrade and get a 5D Mark II. Right now, it does the job. I have a grip on it. I have two batteries to make sure I don't run out of battery. I have tons of cards, starting at 4 gigs up to 16 gigs. I use my 16 gigs mainly for video, and I try to stay for photography. I try to stay at 4 gigs just because in the event that the card, crashes or it gets corrupted for whatever reason, I just feel like I have more safety knowing that I don't lose too much of the actual job. But then also when I come back into the office for post-processing, I can burn the raw files directly onto a CD, a DVD. Next, my flashes. I have a 580EX. I usually keep this one on camera. I don't use it for the ceremony for the most part. I have yet to use it, but just in case I do keep it on the camera. When I take the couple to a location, I might use this, just to clean out certain shadows. If I have some shadows, I might fill up with that. But I'd rather use reflectors or diffusers, and we'll get to those later. And then these two bad boys, I got them from eBay, 20 bucks a piece. Love them. I love them for location shoots. The only thing that I don't like about them is that the light is a little blue, and then I use this one on camera with my next move, which is the Phone diffuser. So this will be the main flash that's going to kind of have a soft light on the subject, on the faces, and these will give me more like lens flare or just a kicker, just a rim light. The way I use these three is with these great, the Calumet 4-channel wireless trigger. These are awesome. I bought the first set. I was kind of hesitant. It was 70 bucks for a trigger and a receiver. Loved it. So I had to go back and bought another set, and I'm thinking about buying a couple more receivers just so when I have on location shoots. I like using these. So basically what I do is, whether it's on the studio or on set, I will have one on the camera, one in the pocket, and then these each go into one of these strobes, right? And when I want to test it, instead of taking the other one out or awkwardly press the button, I just press the other button just to make sure that they go right. And what I do is I put each flash on a different channel, so that depending on the angle that I'm shooting from, I might need just one extra speed light to fire. So I will change on the trigger that's on the camera. I change the channels accordingly, or I can choose to shoot all of them at the same time. Mainly because sometimes I might be in front of one of the strobes from the angle that I'm shooting, and I may not want to have my shadow cast on the subject. For the Phone, just in case, depending on the situation, I have the different domes. I rarely do use this one. I use this one sometimes as a snoop, so I shoot directly through it. So it's almost like having a grid. But if you have large groups as well, it has a little flap on the back, and this flap will kick a little more light. So if I need more light, I will use that. But for the most part, this is what lives on it. None of this stuff works without batteries. So for that matter, I have a set of extra batteries for each of the speed lights. And then I have a ton of additional battery for the triggers and receivers. And then I also have a bunch of additional batteries for the camp. These cards, basically what they have is my personal information, but also it has the link and the steps on how to access the photographs for the guests, and so that way, as soon as their pictures are up, any and everybody can actually go on the site and check out the photo. We'll bring a stand that on the tip of it, I put a flash. I'm not sure what they call those, but these just screw it on and off. I screw it on there, I put the flash strobe on it, the speed light, and then at the reception, I put them at opposite sides. So on one side it'll be the table with the main table with the groom and the bride. Then the guests will be on the other side, and usually there's a dance floor in between. So I put on either side. So that way I don't have light flashing onto the crowd or the wedding party. I also take a tripod, and this one I take the head off. And at the reception, I can do the same thing. I can get one of these bad boys, screw it in here, and put the strobe on it. And if I do need it on location, whether it's for video purposes or for whatever reason I want something, a steady shot, and I need a tripod, I like to have it with me. And then I have this head that I can take on and off. And I like the grip on it. It was about 60 bucks. It's made by Sunpark. And I can take, you know, upside down shots and things of that nature. You know, I mean, it's pretty handy. And I like the fact that I can take it off and screw it back on either on one of these stands or on my next step, which is my monopod. Usually, I will try to restrain from the tripod. And just to give you the model, just see if you want to look for it, it's Sunpack 6600PG. And it comes with the head that I previously showed you, and the legs actually come with a screw-on rubber that can either have a spike, so if you shoot on the grass or whatever, you can spike it into it, or you can screw it off, and you know, it's indoors, for instance, if you shoot on wood or whatever, it won't slide. I have two umbrellas. And I take these just in case, for whatever reason, the weather was to be bad and we have to shoot something indoors and I need some nice soft light or whatever the case may be. Just in case there's bad lighting situations, I keep these in the trunk. I would have one of these up here and the speed light on top of it, and then I will put the umbrella in here and screw it in tight. And then finally, I have a reflector and a diffuser, both that I got from Calumet. They're about 35 bucks each. The reflector is one side silver, one side white, and the diffuser, I believe, is one stop. But it's basically, for those who are not familiar with diffuser, it's basically what it does. It's the same thing that you find in soft boxes. Just to make sure I don't get lost, I always take my GPS with me. I always keep a copy of the contract in the bag with me, just in case, so that if for whatever reason the terms of the agreement need to be reviewed. I'm a big used buyer. I go on eBay and Craigslist. This was used. All my lenses were used. This was bought used. The bare phone. So I'll probably put out another video with actual action at the shoot. But for right now, you have a good idea of what it is that I use and how do I use it. And so I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. Make sure to visit my website, Herman V, letter V as in Victor, Brandt, BRAND.photoshelter.com. And feel free to check out my work. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have any. Feel free to comment. And feel free to share some tips if you have some. I mean, I'm a student as well, so if you have tips for me, feel free to share those with me, and I'll be glad to utilize them. Okay? You have a great day. Keep shooting.